Elliot Richmond here. I'm a WordPress theme and plugin developer, and I just wanted to. I was going to put this in a blog post, but it's basically about how to create a website using block theme, or the full site editing experience with the comes from WordPress, which is a fairly new thing, but it's kind of like evolving, and it's just become quite a stable thing. Actually, I think you can pretty much build. Well, any users can just build a website without knowing any code, which is really cool. So I'm just going to dive into this live. So bear with me if you need to wait. But if you put this video on like ×2, it should make it a little bit more bearable. So first thing we're going to do is install a plugin called Create Block Theme. And a block theme basically is the kind of the new that defines how it qualifies for full site editing basically. So go ahead and install this plugin and activate it, and then we should have a menu in here. In appearance, we'll create block theme. So you can do some cool stuff like cloning other themes if you want to start, on a basis. But we're just going to create a very basic, an empty theme basically. So I'm just going to call it July. I'm just going to put my website in there and generate. So what that will do is in appearance and themes, we now have our theme here. So activate that theme, and then you can go to the editor to access the full site editing experience, or you can access it through the front end. So there's two places, in the appearance or from the front end, and edit. Now you'll notice I've got lots of content in here already, pre-populated pages. That's basically from an XML file that you can download from GitHub. I think it's called, let me just quickly look, GitHub block theme content unit test. Yeah. So it's if you look up WordPress theme test data, and it's basically just an XML file that you can download and import using the WordPress importer, and that will populate all your content. So as a starting point, we've got pages and content and posts and menus and stuff. So we can see this isn't looking very good at the moment. So if we go into the site editor, you'll see that you've got two sections. This is bare bones. So you've got templates, which are basically your common templates that you would use in a classic theme, like the index page, single, category, etc., and tags. So if you're familiar with theme development, you'll know that all you need for a theme to work is the index page and a style.css file, which under the hood, that's what this is. Block theme has generated for us. So first thing I'm going to do is go into template parts, which are basically the static areas of your site. So like header, footer, you can create other parts, but they're the kind of pieces that you generally set once, and then you use them as template parts in your templates. So we can see we've got header and footer here. But if we look at our templates and we look at index, we look at the edit, if we go to, this is the really important thing, I find it super handy to use this list view, and this basically gives you like a layer of all of your block elements and what's nested inside those block elements. So you can see we've got the header, that's our header template, which consists of our navigation and logo. And then we've got our footer element, which is basically just a basic proudly powered by WordPress. You can put links in there and stuff. So that's how this specifically is the index page using these parts. So I want to come back out of this, and I want to go to my template part header, and we're going to edit that. You can see it spans across the whole width of the site, and we don't want that. So if we look at our list view and see how it's made up, and it's basically made up in a group block, and then we have a row, and then we have nested in that another row, which houses these elements here, which is our logo and site logo and title and stuff. And then on the right hand side, you see it just, if I mouse over it, you can see it's the navigation on the right hand side. So when you have these blocks selected, you can see on the right hand side you can edit certain settings. Well, you have two tabs effectively. It's not obvious, but one tab is the settings, and that's basically the settings for your block. And then you have the styles of the block, which are like colors, well, as it says, styles really, colors, padding, etc. So just be aware that when you're navigating through these, that these settings will change depending on the block type that you're looking at. See, we've got layout, justification on a row, and navigation will have different settings as well. So if we look at the group for our main header, everything's nested in this single group. So I want to look at these settings. So we can see we've got like content and wide, and this basically sets the width, how we want to set our overall width of our block. So if I say 900 pixels, that'll be my content block, and then we've got wide, and this is to do with the alignment of everything that's nested inside this block. So now that I've got those settings set, I can then go to my row block and we can change the alignment, and we can set this to be either have none, and that will span the whole width, or we can have full width, which basically spans to our maximum alignment that we set, or we can set the width to 1000, which again is what we set in our sorry. So if I set this wide to 1200, we've got, so that's our wide alignment, and then the content is just standard. So if we have got it set to wide, that'll go 1200. Then we just have none, that'll set to our standard 900 width. And again, you can set it to full width. Probably not, don't want to do that. You may want to do that if it's a group, and then you nest another group within that, and then set a width, because you may want to put a full color background. Actually, we can do that anyway. So if I set this to wide and then go to my group block and then say change the style of that, not setting style, and I'll change the background color to, should we go garish? No, we'll go black and white, I think. So set the background to black, and then set the text, that's all the text within that block, to white. So now we've got something that's looking a little bit better than it was before. So that's that set. So now we can save that. Actually, so we need to save that in here. Now what this will do is it will save your global settings and template parts and templates into the database as a post type, basically. So if we save that, that's now going to be set in our database. So if I come out of that, so that's our header set. Actually, if I just go back into that, just go through the global styles and layouts, block style template. So what is it called? It's the settings for this template. We start looking at the blocks. So if you save this, this will save it as part of the template, the settings for this template effectively. You also have like styles up here as well. You've got styles per block, but you also have what's known as the global styles. And this sets the overall styles for the whole site. So if we come out of the template part, we just look at our index page. So this is our index page. It's got a standard kind of blog effectively. So if we start looking at our, I'm going to change the width of that, which means I need to insert a group block before. Oh, there's another handy little tip actually. If you insert a block and you put /, you then get a populated list of all the blocks that are available, and if you start typing what you want, group, you can add that as a group block. So this is asking me how I want to gather those internal, the nested blocks. I want to just create a single group block, and then I want to put my query post inside that group block. you see there's a little blue line that sort of like appears indented just over here. So that will indicate that that's going to go inside my group. So now within the group block, if I set the width to that as before, so content 900, wide 1200, and then I can set my query loop alignment to my wide width, and that will match my header. That's not actually doing, so what is it? Is it? It's in there. Okay. So I'm fumbling my way through this because I'm doing it live, right? So now why is that not 1200? Is that because I've not set a width? Okay, there's the width. Right, so content, what did I say, 900? And wide I want to be 1200. I'm just doing these arbitrary figures so you can see that you can have a difference when you set the alignment of the nested blocks. I mean, effectively you can set both of these to 1200, you know, and that would be your wide width and normal width. But just for the demonstration purposes, I'm illustrating two options. So then within that, I've got my alignment set to 900. Oh, this is a bit confusing actually. So when you've got something selected, you see that you've got this, it's indicated by this kind of white out version. So sometimes if you click it, it actually disables that and it sets it back to none. So it's a bit confusing, so just be aware of that. So I'll make sure that I'm on my wide, which is, yeah, that's selected. So if I save that, that's part of this template, okay? Now, that's all gone into the database, that's fine, that's cool. But if you want to do override all your global settings, so say all of our links, we don't want to have this underline, or we want to change the color of all of the links, you go to your global settings. And it's broken down into parts, elements, so your typography part, which is look at your type and text and stuff. Then you've got overall colors, and this is from your color palette. You can set backgrounds, text, links, etc. And layout, again, which is the complete content layout, regardless of what you set with your alignment. So if I set that to 1500, that will reset everything. Okay, so I want to go back to my 12. Actually, I want to put 900. I want 1200. And again, once you save that, that will save into the database as your global settings. So I want to take all these links, and I want to just take the underline off. So we go to links, and then we can find the decoration. So I just want to take that off. So now that's globally changed all of my links. So maybe I want to change the color of the links as well. Oops. Which requires you to go to colors, and we can select links, and we can say let's make all of our links blue. Okay, this looks garish, I know, but you get the drift. So say you want to create a page, so let's just save this, all my templates and global settings and stuff. So say I want to create a new template, which is going to be a page. So you can do that by going to your templates and then just creating a new page template. So WordPress gives you all of these. These are kind of like the standard templates that would appear in a classic theme. So we create a page, select whether the page is single template or specify yes for all pages. So this is your generic page. Now we don't have, there's no blocks in this whatsoever, so you need to build this using your template parts. So again, if you put /, you start typing template, you see it populates template part. Now you can pick a template part from any that have been generated, or you can choose the ones that you've already saved. So I want to pick my header, and I want to choose I don't want to start again. I want to choose from the existing headers that I've got. So that populates there. And then I want to add another part after my header. We'll just leave that as actually I'll put a group block in there for the moment. And that'll house the content of my page when I do it. And then I'm going to insert another template part, which is going to be my footer, which is this one here. Okay, so then maybe in here you want to add, actually we'll add it here. What do you want to add? Maybe the title. What's it called? Title. Post title, there you go. And then we want to add another block which is after the post title, which is going to be our content block. What's that called? Post content, there you go. And then want to add another one maybe? Yeah, why not? What do you want to put in there? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you want to put an image. What do you want to put that up here? Actually, not an image. Put a featured image. Post featured image. There you go. So now we've done that, I want to just put the width again. Make that a 900. Make that 1200. And you'll see that we don't have any control over. Well, we do, but I don't want it to be on just a single item. Well, you may want to do that, but I want to actually have it within. Do it sort of globally, or not globally, but as part of all of the nested blocks inside this group block. So what I need to do is to create another nested group block, and I'll put that in. Just add it in here for the moment. So that's popped it there. I'm going to move it to the top, and then I want to put all of these inside that group block. Is that going to? No. Okay, so easiest thing to do is to just grab your block. Oh no, that's okay. So I need to sort of initiate the group block first. So I want to grab that and pop it in there in that group, and that's nested inside that group now. So I want to put that one in and that one in as well. So title, featured image, post content. Now I can change the alignment of this nested group. I'm going to make that wide. Now, why is that not? So that's wide. So it's still not. That's interesting. Okay. Okay. So maybe you do have to do your alignment on each individual element. That's a bit annoying. Oh well, okay, so we have to do that. So now I've got this looking alright-ish. So save all that. So that's saved, and then I can come out of this, go back to my. So now I've got an index and a page, which is great. So if I start navigating around, if I go to the front end of my website, we should have. It should be looking very much like we'd set basically. So if I look at a page, yeah, we've got full width, page with markup. This is all the content that comes basically in the XML file that we uploaded, or I showed you how to upload from the GitHub repo. Okay, so now if we look at our blog, if we go to one of our blog posts, oh, where's that gone? That's taking me away. That's taking me to the demo of the theme XML upload. So if I go back to my home page, now if we look at one of these blog posts, this is a single page. Now, because we haven't put a single template in, it's automatically defaulting back to our index, which is okay, but you may want to doctor your single template. So again, it's as simple as going back to edit your site, and then go to templates, and then create a new single template. And again, this will be empty, so you just build it up as you would, as we did with the other page template. So choose your template part, on my header, and then add another, just put a paragraph block in there for the moment, and then my other template part, which is my footer, there, and choose. So WordPress also gives you these other options for what are known as patterns, and you can dump those in as a starting point. I'm going to just use my existing one, and then just save that. Now I want to get my, keep it consistent. I want to get my index template, kind of like copy this style. So you can do that by selecting a bunch of blocks as a starting point. So let's just grab that group for the moment, and then we'll fix it. So copy block, and I want to go back to my single template, and in my list view, oh, that's weird. Okay, I don't want that. I want to put that outside of the there you go, move that down. So I need to put in another insert after. I'm just going to paste. Now that's all, I just used my keyboard to paste all of that in. And that's basically the same set of blocks, but I need to doctor this slightly. So I don't want it to be the query loop, which is a block in its own right. I want to bring this out, put my title up there, put my featured post, featured image, sorry, then my content, and then we've got all of our kind of metadata. Is that the metadata? Yeah, all the metadata that belongs to the post, which is like, you know, the author, date, categories, etc. And down here we've got our pagination. So dump that up there. Well, that's actually gone into a row, which is a bit confusing. So a row is kind of like stacks. It stacks things. It uses like flexbox, so they'll be either in a row or you can create them as horizontal. So good for navigation and stuff like that. But I don't want that group to go inside that row, because obviously you can see it's aligning them left and right. I want to pop that just outside underneath. There you go. So now I can get rid of this query block, and now that's my single template. Actually, probably don't want your pagination on that page. You just want, let's insert is there a navigation post? Oh, next post, yeah. So inside there, I think we can add another one. That could be our previous post. So we can see that these are stacked on top of each other. So let me just get rid of that pagination, which is ideal for your index page, but not for a single post. So these stacked on top of each other don't look great. So what I'm going to do is insert another block, and I'm going to put a row in there. And again, it's a bit like columns, I guess. Oop, I don't want to put it in there. I want to put it outside. There you go. This is why this list view is so handy, because you can see what's going on. Sometimes if you're just editing in the editor, it gets a little bit confusing. So now I want to pop those two blocks inside this row. Maybe easier to drag and drop them. And then pop that one in there as well. Go on, there you go. So now we've got our sort of like single navigation. So if we're on this single post, we can go next, previous, and that'll paginate through all of our posts chronologically, I think it is. So now that alignment, I want to make it centered. So justify centered, and I want to, doesn't really matter about the width or the alignment. I do, however, want to change the alignment of my content, so I'm going to make this my wide angle. And make that wide as well. So that's now our single post. So that won't revert to our index page, it will be our single post. Say we want to make all our single posts titles uppercase. So we can go to our styles, make that uppercase, and maybe we want to change the colour of that to, we can't change the colour for some reason. Okay, so there are certain blocks that take away some of the styling from certain blocks, because this is a post content. Obviously the inbuilt block doesn't allow you to add colour. You can do it with code, you can open it up, but this doesn't allow for that in this case, which is interesting because you can change the colour of your title but not the content. Okay, alright, whatever. So we can test that by saving, and we can come to our front end and just check that out. So we've got links to our single posts. So we go into one of our posts and we see that this is uppercase now, and this is the content. So you can see how, oh, that's gone a bit. Those are my tags, I think. Yeah. So why have they gone array? So let's go edit the site again. Just see what's going on that template. So it was a single edit. So that should be. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe a bug. I don't know. Is it not in my group? Okay, well, whatever. Let's just set it to 900, see what that does. So navigate to my front end, check out a single post. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe I'll set that back. Maybe it just didn't register. So this is a new kind of, it's new development for WordPress, so certain things might be a little bit ropey. However, I wouldn't expect that to be ropey like that. I want that to be wide. It should be set there. Save that. Go and test it front end. Ah, it's set. Maybe it just didn't register. Maybe I didn't set it. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. So what's interesting about this block theme, create block theme, as well is you can add fonts, I believe. So you can manage theme fonts, and you can get a direct access to the Google Fonts library. So you can click this button here, and you can go and choose something. So let's go and choose Open Sans. You can choose to install all of these fonts. I'm just going to bung those in, and then so now we should have access to those fonts in our theme. So we look at one of our templates. Let's look at the page template. So if I wanted to change all of the fonts, obviously I need to go into, rather than going to the individual block, I want to go into my global styles. This will set everything globally. So for my typography, I want to set all of my text to where's my font gone then? Okay, let's go back to the fonts. Leave that page. Manage fonts. So did I not add them properly? Open Sans. Add Google Fonts to your theme. Arrow disallowed. Okay. Right. Okay. Let me just. That's a security setting I have set up on every installation of WordPress. That just stops people from editing in the back end. So I need to find my block theme site. And my, where is it? Config. And I want to disable that. Right, so now I should be allowed to upload fonts. So again, if I select my Open Sans, right, Open Sans is added. Okay, perfect. So now I go back to edit my theme. Go into one of my templates page. Where will we get back to our global settings, and I'll set all of our type to bingo, Open Sans. There we go. So now you can see that you how much control you've got over the site, which is pretty cool. So I think that's about it really. I mean, that should give you enough basis to start building sites fairly rapidly. I don't know how long this video was, is it? But yeah, I mean, that's how long it's taken me to just build that basic structure. Obviously you want to spend more time doing whatever you want to do, whatever, go for it. So yeah, leave some comments if you like this video, and give me some feedback. That'd be great. See you later.